today, Bethlehem is a city that is completely surrounded by walls and fences. The wall just completely engulfs the city. Living in the wall is like living in a big prison, where you are deemed guilty, and that's why you live in this prison. Every day we see the wall. It's very big, very ugly, completely surrounding us, completely engulfing us. And the wall creates stress within the community itself. I grew up under a time when we as Palestinians lived under what's called the Israeli military occupation. Every aspect of our life was controlled by the Israeli army. Anything we wanted to do, any movement we wanted to make was controlled and restricted by the Israeli military. We grew up in a culture where we had complete lack of trust, lack of engagement. We were called to hate Israelis for what they were doing to us. Every Israeli to me was a bad person who was occupying us, wanted to destroy us. I would even say that this is what Jesus would be doing if he was in my place. Jesus would be standing with the victim against the victimizer, with the oppressed against the oppressor, with the occupied against the occupier. But part of my journey was to begin to really understand that my faith calls me to engage in much more. Jesus went beyond all of this. He called us to love. And for me, looking at this message, it was very powerful because I began to really understand that what Jesus calls us to do is not just to make peace and then step away. He calls us into unity. He calls us into oneness. When you love somebody, when you love a member of your family, when you love your wife, your husband, you create a new oneness with them, a unity with them, where there is no other actually. Holy Land Trust is an organization that believes that peace in the Holy Land is possible. And it is not a long-term vision. We could achieve this peace between the communities very soon. I believe as the message of peace came through this land, the message of peace can again come through this land and spread throughout the world. We're not a political organization anymore, and I say this with pride. We are an organization that is committed to strengthening and lifting up all of the communities, honoring them, honoring their history, their tradition, honoring their presence, and honoring their right to live here with the rest of the communities in equal terms. Where we actually live, this land where we live, is Holy Land. And if you ask Palestinians and Israelis to give a name to this land other than the political name, other than Palestine, other than Israel, other than West Bank, Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem, West Jerusalem, all of these political names that we give, one of the most common names that we all agree on is that this is Holy Land. The challenge to all of us is how are we living this globally as well? And I believe that the teachings of Jesus have the answers that the world is looking for. We are just called out to live them. We are not called to just make peace. We are called to create a beloved community of all the peoples of this land. Jews, Christians, and Muslims are to come together in oneness, in unity, in community. And that for me is what loving the enemy is all about.